New at 10, the Community Foundation serving West Central Illinois, Northeast Missouri celebrated its 26th annual Friends of Philanthropy event. Its goal is to honor the individuals and groups who help the region grow. WGEM's Rose Lehner joins us now in studio with more about this. Rose?
Daniel, the Community Foundation celebrated tonight by thanking everyone who has supported the foundation, especially one person in particular. And they also announced two exciting updates for future developments. The Community Foundation honored a special woman Thursday night for gifting over $1 million to their endowment fund.
That she used her legacy to continue to support those people that she loved and those causes.
The late Barbara McLean named the foundation as her IRA and trust beneficiary so that her money could go to improving the community.
She loved this community. She loved this area.
Board members say McLean's generosity only further proves how special she was.
And that shows us what her heart was in this gift. She truly cared for others and wanted to leave that legacy.
And members say that legacy will never be forgotten.
How selfless that person is and the visionary that they are, and that's exactly how we will remember her.
The foundation also announced another exciting update. A new location in downtown Quincy.
To have a space that we can call permanent and call our own is just a dream come true.
The new location at 621 Vermont Street will give them more opportunities to work with people in the area.
Host a lot of different types of meetings, collaboration, convening, working with different people.
Foundation members say they are ready to make the move and push their mission forward.
We're excited to have nonprofits and professional advisors and so many new neighbors downtown.
The foundation will transition from its Main Street location to the new one on Vermont in January 2024. Foundation members say that McLean's gift will make a huge impact on the 12 counties they serve. Daniel.
All right. Thank you, Rose. The Community Foundation's last day at their Main Street location is December 29th, and then they will move to the Vermont location afterwards.